At Cricket Centre, we're quite happy to bring in Robin Uthappa, Robin the Batman, Robin the Batsman. Yes, any which way you call it, great potential. He is part of our player watch now. And following Glenn Maxwell, that definitely shows you what kind of potential Robin Uthappa carries. But his resurrection, for one, if you look back, I think it's about bringing in a professional batting consultant, Praveen Amre. Yes, Praveen Amre, definitely a terrific batsman in his time, but he had a lot more to do when he became a coach, and then he took on this role, and Robin Uthappa has benefited enormously. Now, different faces to this man, Praveen Amre. Take a look at the other slide. Who's this? It's definitely Praveen Amre. Oh, maybe I have a little doubt. This looks like the megastar, Tollywood megastar. Yes, Chiranjeevi. For sure it is. But the fact is, just a little background to Praveen Amre. The two of them, Praveen Amre and the Tollywood megastar, met at a party. Face to face, they felt they were looking at a mirror. And then all of a sudden, there were these people running around for autographs. They came to Praveen Amre instead of going to Chiranjeevi. Praveen Amre was like so shy, and Chiranjeevi smiled and left this scene. But altogether, that's just a little story. It's about Robin, the Batman we are talking about. What is his career stat? You're looking at a strike rate of 131, which means all that potential to go and bat in a devastating manner. He has a terrific technique, and it just needed guidance. And that factor, I think, is where Praveen Amre has come good and given him the direction. Now, taking a look at how season 7 has gone for him, he's the third highest run getter, and that's really wonderful because he's just behind Maxwell and Smith. With number of boundaries, and this will tell you a story about how efficient and how mature he has become. 50 boundaries, and alongside you have these big hitters. Not that Robin Uthappa can't strike these long way, he can, but when it's necessary, he's pulling it out. That is the wonderful part. And moreover, I think there's more to it. 11 sixes and then 50 boundaries is a great effort from this man. And we look back to see the IPL itself is becoming a wonderful platform for him. And this IPL, as an opener, he has outshone many because 285 runs at 57 average, and all of a sudden they've realized, Kolkata Knight Riders, that he's definitely better up front. But some of this goes back to the fact that if you had watched enough of domestic cricket, you will get this feeling that he has had great form in domestic cricket, and that's where probably Kolkata Knight Riders went wrong in the first 5 games. Now, where has he scored his runs is another factor, because when you look at Robin Uthappa, you would think that he's more off-sided as a cricketer, but then as a batsman, you'll take a look that he's got runs all around, including those reverse sweeps against the spinner. He's taken on the off spinner over long on and deep mid wicket, and then the inside out against the left arm spinner, against those who are looking to bowl slow ones, the fast bowlers. He's gone inside out, he's able to pull, he's able to cut, he plays the square drive well. All in all, I think it's, if you look at that in particular, he's got runs all round, and stunning to see those blue lines and the red lines more in a V, and that's what makes him such an efficient opening batsman. And the strike rate is also tremendous against all types of bowlers. But let's take a look at how he has fared against the pacers in particular. Now, his ability to play the pacers a fraction outside off stump, he's looking to leave deliveries outside off stump, plenty of dot balls. You take a look at those little blobs, the black ones, the dot balls, and then the green ones is where he's picked up his boundaries. So he's been quite choosy about what he wants to hit and what he wants to leave. A little fraction away, he says, okay, if this one deserves respect, he lets it go. Anything in his range, he is definitely moving across the stump. He has a little shuffle, and then nice flow of the bat. He's getting the ball away into an area. I think it's so significant. If you looked at the boundaries, it's all been along the ground. Not an element of risk ever. Now, the other factor is he's got runs in areas, particularly you take a look between mid-wicket, wide or long on. Those areas, almost 40% of his runs have come, which means that he's able to put away with the pull and also the little flick early on. Bowlers like Malinga and Mitchell Johnson, I think he's definitely shown that he's still capable of handling pace, the swing, and also the expertise of these fast bowlers. And if you're able to get 19 of Mitchell Johnson in one particular over, yes, there is a lot to be derived from Robin Uthappa yet in this game. Now, how has he fared against the spinners? If you look at those areas which has kept him quiet, particularly the dismissals, there's a little white blobs around, mostly in line with middle and leg. So he's struggled to anything coming back, and that's got to do with the shuffle. If he's moving too far or he's moving too quickly into line, he finds himself playing a cross or a little gap between bat and pad, that has been exposed. But in 10 innings, it doesn't matter when you're striking so well with an average of 57. That's really good. And again, an area of strength goes down to mid-on and wide of mid-wicket. That's really wonderful to see. And the type of bowlers, and you want to take a look at how he's operated. Off spinners, well, he's taken them on. Devastating, because the off spinner is looking to bowl from round the wicket. He pulls out the reverse sweep, and in applying a correction to bowl middle and leg, he's taken them on, long on, deep mid-wicket. As you've seen, 40% of the runs coming there. So he's very strong there. Nothing to differentiate between the right arm pacers and the left arm pacers. But if you look at down the line against the left arm orthodox, they've kept him quiet. And one bowler in particular, Akshar Patel, has bowled 9 dot balls to him. You might say, yes, just 9 dot balls in a span of 10 games. But that's a lot when you look at it, which is capable of being exploited by opposition. 17 runs of 17 balls still makes it fairly good with a couple of boundaries. But 9 dot balls builds a lot of pressure, not only to him, to the batsman playing alongside him. He's definitely having one of his best IPLs, and started well in his career, which was the time when he was part of the Indian T20 World Cup team that won. He had an average of 35.7. Following that, there was a huge dip, and then along the line, there's a little plateau. He just didn't do too much because I think he was not fit enough at that point in time. Then came Praveen Amre, and Amre made sure it was about his fitness. It's all about his ability to stay long, choose his shots, which area to play, and how he can push himself to the limits to be effective. Great IPL season so far. Now, this has got to have something prior to that, and it's got to be through the season. I think it's been a great build-up. Didn't play too many games in the Ranji Trophy win for Karnataka, and just 5 matches, and he's made 266. But the average or the strike rate is still decent when you look at it. And when you look at the list A, that's where all of a sudden there's a jump. That's an area clearly tells you that he's producing those shots in the first 10 overs, and his ability to pick up the boundaries has been good. And if he's got that average of 76.57 with 300s and a half century, primary reason for Karnataka to win this second tournament. He did well all the way through, which is wonderful to see. Now the big question that everybody wants to know, is he capable of making a comeback? Time to think like a selector. And yes, I've moved places, you definitely noticed that. So I've got this selector cap on my head. Will I get Robin Uthappa on the team? Moment to write his name. I've already done that. And the scratching ends. Robin Uthappa should definitely make a comeback.